when Steve and I were originally talking about making the record, this was like the across the table at the bar talking about it, you know, some early stages. But I had kind of a concept where I would sort of work on it on my own with the dudes and then have him come in and help. Where he was, and that process could work cool, but that could take a really long time, you know. So we started off by just going into a nice comfortable environment over at Lee's and just playing the tracks live. Just to each track a handful of times till we thought it sounded fun and was cool, and we had a great time playing it. Then we came over here to my place, which is a pretty relaxed, easy environment to work in, and we just started like having fun frosting that cake, one thing at a time. And then we send it back to Lee, and he assembles it all, makes it sound beautiful, and then
goes out to the world.
Goes out to the world.
Someone who can write and play and sing in a way that conveys joy, to me, is very important. You know, it's not a particularly joyous planet these days, so when someone can view that in their music in a way that's still creative and intelligent and not silly, I like that a lot.
I'm sure people have written books on what a good producer does in making music, you know, novels that fill the Library of Congress, I'm sure. But Steve's got his own wing, I'm sure, of the awesome stuff he does in the library. I mean, for one, helping make musical decisions and helping me as the band leader, like he can kind of be the voice of God when it's like we're in there, like that's the take. I'm like, okay, that's the take. We're done now. Whereas with the band, you're like, what'd you think? Well, my drumming part wasn't perfect, and I'm like, well, I hit that one wrong note. You could like, in art, it's never perfect. That's the beauty of it. So it's like you could keep trying to get it closer to being that way. And then finally, you know, that's really nice having somebody to say, nope, that's it, you know.
As far as like the physicality that he plays with, luckily that tends to translate through the amp very nicely. I watched and I went and saw him play live about 2 weeks ago at Steve's request, and I was really glad I went because I don't think I could have quite conceived of what exactly he was doing. It's certainly far from your average recording session in terms of the complexity of his rig, his virtuosity, both with his instruments as well as his effects, and also just different sound sources. Yeah, it worked out really well. I'm very pleased with the sounds we got. I think it's going to be beautiful.
Russ has got such a personality in his playing, and his time is so darn good. And his placements, gets a nice sound out of the drums. And then Sam's time is so good. Those guys are almost like a 1 + 1 is 1. They just play together really well. So it's cool, it's easy, where we can just get together and bake cake right away. But those guys just get, like, if your bass and drums can just get together immediately, then you have that, and then you just have to fit it. So playing all these live gigs together, you know, I don't know how many we've played. I guess we average maybe 4 to 5 a week almost, probably. 3 minimum, I would say. Then to go in the studio, it's really nice to be able to sit back and like think about the tunes in more detail. Then we're just rocking and playing and going from song to song. Is that too much gain for you?
Try to play again. Okay.
You still liking that reverb, Steve? Okay. Yeah. Just like shaking things up, don't you? Yeah. For right now, we're using these 3. And we use this a lot making tracks. And this is kind of like my favorite, but it's just kind of loud. And this one has really great sound reverb. So we haven't used these yet. But we may, so they're here. This is more of a Fender pile. A heap?
I must have anger in my mind. And if I get freedom in my body, then I can have freedom in my mind. Oh yeah! Shake it.
The only thought I had is if you do another take. I like that one. That could be fine with me. But there's the when it goes dun, dun, it's supposed to be like a rest. It's like boom 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 boom.
Right.
There's like a
sort of still.
yeah, you're sort of
popping
still
through that.
percolating.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
can have love in our mind. So let's work all the frustration right out of our body, so we can feel freedom. I'd love some freedom, freedom tonight.
It's been such an amazing opportunity to be able to make this record with so many of my friends and with Steve. It's a great honor to work with Steve and all the engineers, Lee and Brian, all the fantastic musicians. I really just can't express enough gratitude to be able to work with all these people and have them working on, helping me with my vision. There's been a few times I was kind of shook just sitting here watching, say, Steve and Asher discussing the best way to approach something on one of my songs. Yeah, I really appreciate that, and I'm hoping the guys understand that. And I think you can hear the love in the record. I think it translates.
So if I can put one foot in,
Gentlemen,
That's right.
the record is tracked.
There it is. Awesome.